Warning, 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 warning. 3, 2, 1. The FantasyFootballTips.co podcast with Mills and Quigliano.
Hi, you're listening to FantasyFootballTips.co, the podcast in association with FPL_The Source. My name's Mills, and it probably sounds a little bit different today. We're different location for recording. Open air. We've just had a round of golf. There's 6 of us. Wow, this is the best podcast probably ever. We're outdoors for a start. Quigliano, he's with me.
Quigliano. Correct, I am here, yeah.
An old favourite from last season, JP.
Oh, nice to be here.
And we've got 3 new faces, I believe. I don't think they've made the podcast before, but we've got, we've brought out the big guns today. We've got Evans and Evans, and we've got Ruthven. Ruffers.
Hello.
The rough one.
The rough one indeed. So, probably won't talk about the golf too much, will we?
No, I'll just give you a quick rundown of my scorecard. So, first hole was a par. No, obviously, we've come for fantasy football tips here, mate.
Let's do it then. So, a lot of feedback last week. On the podcast. Lots of positives. Lots of people asking questions, actually. Advice on their team. If you want to go to fantasyfootballtips.co, and by the way, that's just the waitress there, but that's absolutely fine. That's the nature of the podcast today. She's apologised, but it's fine, don't worry.
I've got my burger, so I'm happy as well.
Okay, so we've had a lot of questions on Twitter. People asking us for advice on their team. Quigliano, what I want to know from you is, you do the research every week. I want to know who are the players that people are picking. The general public out there. Who are the most popular players for FPL?
Well, I'm glad you've asked, mate, because I have done the research. You're right.
Set him up.
Put a team together here. It isn't achievable to form this team yourself because it is formed based on the most popular picks from everyone. So this is percentage ownership. Keeper-wise, Petr Cech in goal or Courtois. Those are your 2 options. That's where everyone's going
so
at the minute.
So people are going strong keepers.
Yeah, then the back line, Ivanovic, Klein, Azpilicueta, Font. Am I saying that right? Fonte.
Yeah.
Okay, I will apologise to you.
That's come from the FPL crowd there.
First name for 2 bonus points.
Jose.
Jose what?
Joe.
It's Jose Fonte.
Oh, right, sorry.
No worries. I can see why you would make a mistake.
Okay.
He's slightly on edge because his chips are going cold. But.
And
slightly.
No sauce.
and Phil Jagielka, that's your back line. Those are the top 5 picks at the minute. No Terry in there, mate. Midfield, Depay, Henderson, Wanyama for the cheapie.
Interesting, 4.5.
Hazard.
As he likes to be called.
Okay, excellent. Chip in. Hazard and Fabregas with a front line of Kane, Costa and Rooney, and that will cost you £112 million, which is obviously over budget. But what are your thoughts on that? I'll throw that one out to the table.
I've got to say I'm surprised there's so many people going for Kane. With the price increase. Second season
syndrome.
Will he be rested? Because he's been playing in the Euros. Will he get a bit of time off?
I think he'll be ready.
He'll be ready for the start of the season.
But not sure he's going to... Well, I certainly don't think he's going to have the season he had last season. JP?
Yeah, I think if we're going for players that we're convinced are going to perform well, I personally think Diego Costa's got to go in alongside Aguero. I know it's expensive, it's going to cost you a lot of money.
We're slated for this in a minute.
Effectively, those 2 players, we know when they start, they'll score the most goals. They will be the 2 top goal scorers in the league.
Okay, what about Wayne Rooney? We've got a United fan at the table today, which we're not usually used to have. 3 United fans.
Needless to say, none of these are from Manchester. Carry on.
Okay, Wayne Rooney has been promised a central striking role. It's been reported that he has said he will score more than 30 goals this season. What are our thoughts on Wayne Rooney for $10.5 million? Decent?
Well, last time he played central role, I think it's 3 or 4 seasons ago, he scored 26 goals up front. Whenever he's played
2 in all competitions, if I'm right.
Yeah. Whenever he's played central, he scores goals. Even last year, when he played...
I thought that was Paul Scholes, he scored goals.
He sets up goals.
I think...
He scored last season.
They've got a lot of people to assist as well. He's got a lot of people to assist as well, hasn't he?
He got I think he got 12 11. Or 13 last year without playing up front as regularly as he would like. So he will get goals.
And they're saying that with absolute nonchalance as they eat a barbecue chicken wrap.
Yeah, got to credit them.
So that's Rooney covered. What about this mystery striker that LVG's talked about in the press this week?
Well, I'm hearing people next to me just saying it. What have you heard there, Mr. Evans?
Llorente is the rumour.
Thoughts
Strong
on him?
rumour. He'll be a backup striker. He's not going to start. He will play the odd game here or there and he'll be on the bench.
I disagree there. I think he'd push Rooney back then.
Not really, because with Depay, Fellaini, Mata, Herrera, Schweinsteiger, Carrot, there's a welcome midfield.
Depay right, Rooney behind, Mata on the left. That's
No, you'll have
perfect
Mata
for me.
right, you'll have Young.
Llorente up front.
You're all assuming that Di Maria's gone.
Well, we're not
Di
talking
Maria's
about him.
apparently joining the tour. I've read this morning. He's joining the tour. And if you've read this morning about LVG, he's also now backtracked on his surprise striker, saying that he might not buy a striker now this morning. He said that.
Right, so
So that
he's
throws it all in for you.
got a lot to answer for, and we'll need him on this podcast. So LVG, we'll meet you in.
If you're listening,
Yeah, give us a call. Okay, so that's Man United. Let's look at. I want to talk about Man City, and I want to talk about first of all Sterling. Very strong on his debut. Scored a goal. Only played 45 minutes. I know his
Should have
first
squared
touch.
it
I know
for
his
me.
first touch was shocking, but he tucked it away beautifully. A lot of pressure on him there. I know it's only pre-season, but he still knows that the world is watching. He's in my team, my personal team. He's in there. How are other people feeling?
Wild card shout there, giving away your team already.
Yeah, gonna say it's. I don't think I'll be alone in that, to be honest. I see what else was interesting. Pellegrini talked about him as a striker. Many times he talked about him in that post-match discussion, interview, whatever. He talked about him as a striker.
Not with Aguero,
Not good.
Bonnie,
No.
Dzeko.
Sterling's nowhere near as good as finishing.
Jovetic still there as well.
Yeah.
The positive is that he's cost 49 million, so he's got to start him. He's got
Yeah.
to play him.
Yeah.
Like, it looks bad if he doesn't. So he's going to start the first game of the season. That's a big shout there. He will start first game in the Premier League. So you're going to have a player that's starting. Whether he performs well or not, I'm not 100% sure.
He's got a lot of
$9.5
pressure
million.
on him. A lot.
Not guaranteed goals for me.
I'm not sure how good
Was he
City are
not?
going to be this year.
No.
I don't think City have made the right signs to make him into a force again this year.
No.
How good
Okay.
was he last year?
Also, let's just touch on Aguero. He's not going to be fit for the start of the season. Almost guaranteed. He's not. He's not back in pre-season. He's not going to be ready. So there's a gap there. Who's coming in? Dzeko or Bonnie? Who do we feel?
Bonnie.
Bonnie.
It has to be Bonnie.
Slightly more. He's 8.5, whereas Dzeko's 7.5.
I still wouldn't touch
So,
him. I'd probably rather go
Giroud?
Benteke at that point.
If you think about Sterling as well, Liverpool tried him up front. Liverpool tried to play him in that central role,
Didn't really
and
work.
it didn't really
No.
work for them.
Even before all the drama began.
It didn't really work. So I just can't see Sterling as a centre forward.
No.
Maybe as
I
a
can
number,
see him just off.
maybe as a number 10.
Yeah.
But then City is still going to have to find someone to play the number 9 role without Aguero.
And when you've got David Silva who can play that role.
Silva.
And there you go, there, Silva. And then also, if Sterling goes into that 10 role, Silva, Sterling, and Yaya Toure. 3 doesn't go into 1 for me.
Okay, so the jury's out there.
So then take him out your team, mate.
Well, I'm still going to keep him in, especially if you lot don't have him. So that does me a favour. Sanchez is the other one. Obviously,
From Aston
did very,
Villa.
very,
Good player.
very, very well last year. Obviously, I'm talking about the Arsenal player, Alexei.
All right.
Yeah, really good performance last season. Over the course of the season, obviously, we're expecting him to do well again. He's on holiday until the 3rd of August. He does
Proper-
not return until the 3rd
Proper
of
American
August.
hangover. For a lot of those South
Yeah.
American players, it's going to be whether they can had sufficient rest.
Can they Copa? Or do you
Can
mean
they
Copa?
Copa?
Copa America.
What did I say? Copa.
Yeah.
Wanyama, Wanyama.
Potato, tomato.
Okay. So the point is, we're not putting him in the team. So we've got scope in our teams for some decent midfield. If you've not got Aguero in there, that's 13 million. So you've saved probably at least 3 million there.
You've got to
You're
have
gonna have a
Hazard
stronger midfield.
Yeah.
You've got to have
So
Hazard.
that's-
Yeah, 11.5. Or 12? 11.5?
11.5.
11.5.
Some might go Fabregas.
Fabregas, strong
Some
option.
might go
Yeah.
Fabregas. The only thing is, it does limit your Chelsea options then.
Okay, so let's assume then we're looking at strikers then. So 10 million, 8 to 10 million pound strikers.
Talked
we
about
want 3
Rooney,
of them.
haven't we?
We talked about Rooney, that's 10.5.
Giroud, 9.
Giroud, 9. Solid.
Benteke, 8.5.
Not
Yeah.
sure about Benteke.
Kane, 9.5.
Is
sure about-
Benteke going to work at Liverpool?
No. He's not. He
He needs the crosses, doesn't he?
He's not a Rodgers type of player. And where does he fit in when Sturridge is fit? Because the 2 number 9s doesn't work for me again.
If you can
Can't
score,
see him starting though.
oh, he's talked all over me. But if you can score goals at Aston Villa, he's going to score goals at
He
Liverpool.
scored goals at Aston Villa from crosses and from things like that. I just don't see him getting the sort of.
Well, Liverpool haven't been scoring goals from anywhere, so
But
but
Sturridge
another
was out
concern.
for most of the season.
It's
He's back.
Yeah, I think if Sturridge gets fit, Sturridge
Is he going to
has
play ahead of him?
that's somebody for him to play off for me.
Sturridge is one possibly you could put in. If he can stay fit, Sturridge will score goals.
Again, though, he's not going to be fit for the start, is he? So, you know, if
Can't
Benteke goes there, he'll be a popular choice, that's for sure.
I think what you need to be doing though now at this point is we're talking about a lot of players and what they're not going to do. Who is going to do something? Focus this for me, Mills. Give me a pathway. Where are you going?
Well, like you've already said, the first name on the sheet is Hazard. It's got to be. And then you build your team around that. We've said Depay, he's a very, very popular choice. A lot of faith put in him by people. We don't really know how he's going to perform in the Premier League yet. You can understand from the stats that he got over in Holland why people have put the faith in him, but the Premier League is a different ball game. So I might veer away there. If you want to be solid, I think David Silva is a really, really good option. After that,
You need a cheap option. Are you looking to Bournemouth for that?
well, I'll tell you what I'd look at, yeah. Let's go Matt Ritchie. I want someone talk to me about Matt Ritchie. £6 million, fairly expensive for a newly promoted midfielder. But boy, didn't he do well last season.
A lot of goals, a lot of assists. Was the Championship in a team that was firing. Pretty much walked it.
And Bournemouth have got good fixtures for the first 6 games as well. Is he going to feature?
He'll feature for them, but I don't know whether he should feature in your team.
There's one other player, quite cheap, Deulofeu, who's gone back to Everton. He was recently there before, and he was really, really decent. He's now back, and I believe, I want to say he's around 5 million or 4.5 million.
He's 6 million, and we talked about him last podcast.
And then I will now continue to eat my burger and sit quietly.
Okay, so I'm going to apologise. I'm going to put an apology in right now. We've got a very laid-back atmosphere today, haven't we? We're outdoors. We're enjoying the sunshine. We've had a great round of golf. We've got water fountains in view. People all around us. There's burgers on the table. It's probably been horrific, so we apologise for that right now. But let's just bring a bit of order to the table. I want to just close out today on some potential bargain players who are going to perform well. So, thinking strikers. We've got 2 strong strikers in there. If we've not got Aguero, we've got 2 strong strikers. I'm looking for someone around 5 to 6 million who's going to do a job for us. Who's going to fill that gap. Where would I be looking?
Because I'm not sure how much he's going to cost you here. Someone will have to do the research. Quigley usually does the research. But Bamford, at Middlesbrough last year, 19 goals in the Championship, just signed a 3-year contract with Chelsea. They're putting a lot of faith in him, and he's gone out on loan to Palace. I'm thinking Palace are going to have a steady season, and he might be a cheap option up front for you.
Some decent players provided, but they've obviously signed Kabay.
Balassi, I think they finished the season well. Pardew seems to have a positive effect. I think they'll get some decent results this year, and he's a good outside bet, better than maybe someone like Ings and anything like that, who probably won't play as much as Bamford.
Still waiting for my
Okay, so we're going to wrap up there. It's been an interesting podcast there. I think the experiment might have failed.
Get me back inside.
Quigliano has
This doesn't
been
make it.
very, very subdued today, I'd say.
I'm embarrassed, if I'm honest.
He's embarrassed. I don't know why. Your tips go out to thousands of people each week. But
At least they're not sat with the people watching them going, why are they sat around a table with a microphone and a laptop?
At a golf club.
to make our fans happy, and that's why. So, just one last thing, one last plug. If you want to take us on, if you think you can beat the people that are sat around this table, you need to go to Fantasy Premier League and you need to join our league, which is the fantasyfootballtips.co league, and the number is 57114-16422. So please go there.
Rolls
If you're
easy
not
off the tongue, that does.
already following us on Twitter, it's FPL_the source. And obviously, you've probably already been there, but you know where to find us, fantasyfootballtips.co. Quigliano.
What about your mate? Didn't you have a little mate that you need to shout out to?
That's going to be next week, so yeah.
Keep that in the locker. Get in touch with Mills for shout outs.
That's it. Get in touch. Or if you want to sponsor the show, we're always looking out for a good sponsor. Again, get in touch. Support at fantasyfootballtips.co. It's been an absolute pleasure. I've enjoyed myself, even though Quigliano hasn't. Thank you very much, boys.
Cheers.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Warning, 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 warning. 3, 2, 1. The FantasyFootballTips.co podcast with Mills and Quigliarno.